This program is brought to you by Grand Valley State University.
Thank you very much, Brian. You know, the title of this conference is called Debating Today's Economic Recovery, Nothing to Fear. And I think we had an iconoclast, the very title of the book, we had an iconoclast himself give this opening keynote address. Well, thank you for setting a very provocative tone. I don't think you're a wallflower. Now we're going to have our panel debates, and it's my pleasure, it's my honor to introduce my good friend and colleague here at Grand Valley, Dr. Paul Eisley. Now, he chairs the economics department here at Hillsdale College of Business at Grand Valley. And if you follow the vehicle that Paul drives around town, you see a big W, and this tells you something about him. He's a Badger. He comes from Wisconsin. That's where he did his undergraduate work in physics and economics. And he got his PhD at Purdue. Also off script, I can say that he and his wife are a sort of power couple here at Grand Valley. He loves dogs, and he's a rather renowned cyclist here in town. So it's my pleasure to turn the podium over to Dr. Paul Eisley.
All right. I have a few quick announcements here while the panel comes up and gets themselves seated, so we can keep things moving along here. We want to remind you that in 2 weeks we're doing something relatively unusual. We're having two economics pieces in a row. We have Brad Schiller coming to the breakfast series. This is one of the top economists in the United States, and he's going to give some outlook of what he sees happening right now, and what he sees as the short-term and long-term outlook of the United States. So it's going to be a special treat to have him here. And then on November 10th, we have Rick DeVos coming to talk about Art Prize. As we've seen this occur in Grand Rapids, we know what sort of power that has had. It's going to be a treat to hear how that has helped stimulate our area. So, great. We're also going to, a little bit further on in here, have a little bit of a break before we go into questions, because the questions are going to run a little bit long. We want to make sure people have a chance to go off to class and work and things. So just be aware that that will be happening at one point when we'll have a short intermission. All right? So our panel we have today to discuss the issues that have just been brought about to us. Is the government this larger entity causing problems, and should we use government policy to try and get out of the current depression that we're in, or recession? Right? We have two different sides here. This side is going to be taking on the side of the government should be less active in what they're doing. It consists of Gary Wolfram. He is the William E. Simon Professor of Economics and Public Policy at Hillsdale College. We have Lawrence Reed, currently president of the Foundation for Economic Education, and is president emeritus of the Hauenstein Center. So you've probably seen him around Michigan. All right, and we have Harry Veryser, senior lecturer and director of the graduate programs in economics at the University of Detroit, Mercy. So they should be well capable of handling that and questions. Thank you. On this side, we are having the pro side of the active policy, and the government should do something to deal with the current economic crisis. It consists of John Tiemstra, who is a professor of economics at Calvin College and was recently awarded the Thomas F. Devine Award for lifetime contributions to social economics. Dan Giedeman, who's an associate professor here at Grand Valley, and recently served as the president of the Economic and Business Historical Society. And Harry Singh, which most of you know, who's chair here for the last 15 years prior to myself. And he has experience at the World Bank, and his recent book, Frame, was featured in the New York Times. So we're going to start with a, let's see, we're starting with this side over here, with the discussion of why we should do active policy, which will sandwich nicely between Brian's and the other side.